段要用唱的吗？
就唱的比较容易 It's actually much easier to sing. Thank you very much, Dr. Sa and Mr. Wei, Tom. Thank you. It's a great honor to be receiving this international distinction of mine. Actually, my wife just joked me that seeing around the alumni in Taiwan, she knows why I get awarded this award because I'm the oldest you can find. I can't express enough my gratitude to Dean Assad and also the nomination committee on giving me this award. Although actually I was kind of puzzled, because I'm not a typical successful businessman. I haven't taken my company for IPO or sell it to Google or Amazon yet. I try to. I will. 10 cents is probably easier. But I can only imagine the reason why is because I have a much diversified career than regular MBA. As a grade school as CATS, I think the message probably the school wants to deliver to the student is that after CATS you don't necessarily have to be selling derivatives on grocery or running a multinational operation. It's the same discipline and training applies to every industry you go to. But I think that's I was a very good model that I can do a lot of different things based on the training I've got from CATS. I don't know how many of you here attended the 11-month MBA. Raise your hand. Okay. All right, great. So you know what hell is like. Always. It was very tough. The first trimester, we call it trimester because there are only 3 semesters, and only 2 weeks or 1 to 2 weeks breaks in between. And I have to take, as a student from Taiwan, where English is not the native tongue, I have to take 25 credits among 6 courses in the first trimester. It's unbelievable. And I think the reason, the logic that I think was Dean Zolfer, yes. That was the time, and his team tried to develop this program was to simulate the real world business situation that the people would, or the student will come into, try to squeeze, try to put a very intensive and high pressure environment that you have to get used to, because that's where you're going to. So I was, of course, I was very painful at that time, but later on I was very appreciative that I get this training because I know I can be squeezed to the last drop, and I can still wake up in the morning, say, okay, another new day is coming, and lives keep going on. Okay? So that's something I remember the most and I appreciate the most from CATS' training. So I learned a lot of sleepless nights. I learned how to prioritize my time because of the importance of the course. Some teachers can be, they can wait. Some teachers I can let them down or let her down. So I know how to prioritize my resource and time for the most important things up front. Now that's very important. That's that kind of training and high pressure kept me in surviving a lot of multitasking works in the next 30 years. I was very lucky because my entertainment background and also the training from CATS. I was placed into Accenture at the time, Anderson Consulting, actually Arthur Anderson, before I was graduated. So I experienced a lot of IT projects in Accenture. And because of my entertainment background, my training, my IT experience, I caught the wave of internet. Happened in 1995, 96. Just think of what is internet. Internet is two things. One is content. Content is where I grew up with. I sang, I act, and also information technology. There are two things in internet. Till today, it's just still the same. So those are the two things I'm good at. I have the experience, so I caught on the train and jumped on it. And I couldn't say I do very well with it, but I keep dreaming my startups or act on my startup one after another. I may not be able to live as creative or as wealthy as Steve Jobs or Bill Gates, but I hope I can keep dreaming and act on my fantasy from now on every day. I sincerely thank Dr. Saad and Jim and Tom to come such a long way to present this award to me. Hope you have a very great, successful trip back to the States.
Thank you.
And I also recall I mentioned to Jim several years ago that we should start up a Facebook page, where Facebook was not that popular at the time for alumni. Eugene, that's your work. Okay, and for all of you who are still single, congratulations, the Double 11 Festival is coming up. Do you know what this Double 11 is? Okay, it's for singles. So we didn't even have this kind of festival, even 5 years ago. So this has to be developed by some MBA. I don't know. Wish you all the best. Thank you.